Hey guys, Snow aka Jed, the rogue behind classicroguecraft.com. So for today's guide, I thought I'd give you guys a full nature resist prep guide for phase 5. Now this prep guide is basically going to run you through everything that you can be farming right now. So that's the focus of this. So this is going to be what you need to be focusing on right now. We're not going to go over things that aren't available yet, because just the way the nature resist works is we don't really know which patch Blizzard's going to release in phase 5, so we don't even know what's going to be available next phase. So what this video is going to be your full nature resist prep guide. We're going to run you through everything, and I'm also going to show you live in the world how to solo a lot of this nature resist gear. So we're going to go into Maraudon, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can solo all of this nature resist gear. I just did it myself. It only really took about an hour for me to farm all of this nature resist gear from Maraudon. So yeah, stick around and let's get into it. Speaking of getting into it, if you like the free content I create on Classic Roguecraft on the YouTube channel and on the website, then feel free to head over to twitch.tv/snowme. There you can support this channel by giving it a sub. You can sub even when I'm offline. And every week I release extra video guides in the Discord just for Twitch subs. So I have a whole extra channel there where once a week I'll usually upload an extra video guide just for the Twitch subscribers. So get yourself some extra video guides and help support this free content. Okay, so firstly, why do you need nature resist gear? Why do we need to be prepping all of this? Well, mainly in AQ, it's for one specific encounter. Now, nature resist is good for a lot of fights in AQ, but it's mainly this one specific encounter where you'll be farming this nature resist for. So she's called Princess Huhuran in AQ, and she's a big bug lady that when she enrages towards the end of the fight, she's going to cast this ability called Poison Volley that's going to hit 15 people near her, and this volley does 2000 nature damage per hit and will kill people if you're not prepared. Now the reason we need this nature resist is you're probably going to be one of those 15 people close to her if you're a rogue, and if you want to survive you might have to stack this nature resist. Now it should be noted that a lot of people, including myself and my guild, are estimating that it's likely we might not even need nature resist, because we might be able to just stack nature resist protection potions, and if your DPS is high enough, so if you're in a really good guild, you just stack nature resist potions and burst straight through her volley process. But again, no one wants to be caught with your pants down, so everyone is still farming nature resist because we don't want to end up in a position where we were wrong and we're fighting Princess Huhuran and we actually need the nature resist or we can't get past her. So that's why we're still going to farm the nature resist. Roughly, if you want to go to nature resist on private servers, you need it roughly in that 200-250 range. And that's basically what everyone's going to be aiming for. So again, if you're in a good guild, there's a good chance you might not even need the nature resist, but it's a case of better safe than sorry. And if you're not in a good guild, then there's a very, very good chance you need this nature resist. Okay, so here is a list of nature resist gear that you can start prepping for right now. So I know there's a ton of nature resist gear right now. There's a ton of nature resist coming out in phase 5 as well, and phase 6 even. But we don't really know when a lot of this stuff is coming out, because Blizzard's been a bit weird with the release times for some of this stuff. And a lot of the stuff that's coming out may not be available even in phase 5. If they follow the original vanilla timeline. So everything I show you in this photo here is available right now. You can start farming it right away. And I recommend you start mix and matching, trying to get up to that 200-250 nature resist mark. And as always, I do have a text guide of this video available, which lists even more nature resist gear than I'm showing in this photo. So this photo is kind of the best options that I recommend people go for, but there's actually even more options available. So I have it on the Classic Roguecraft website. I'll put the text link in the description of this video. You can check it out. There's tabs where everything's neatly organized for you guys, like I always do. So you can sort it by head, by neck, by shoulders, by back, whatever slot you want. And you can check out all the nature resist gear that's available. But again, this photo is what we'll be covering here in this video, and it's basically what I'd recommend most people aim to mix and match with. So firstly, we have the head, which is the tribal war feathers of nature resistance. So these give 14 to 15 nature resist. They drop from Upper Blackrock Spire from the Rend encounter. So not super hard to get, but the drop rate for these might kind of suck. So it might take you a bunch of runs to actually get this one. Now what I'd actually recommend as I'm going through this list is you start with the easy to obtain items first. So a lot of this Maraudon gear that I'm going to show you in a second is very, very easy to obtain. So you start with those, and then you can start working on the instance drops and the hard to get drops as the last pieces in your kit. So the head here would be one of the items I'd work on last, just because it's kind of an annoying drop to get because of RNG. You don't know what version of the tribal war feathers is going to drop in the random counter, and it could take a lot of runs in order to try to get the right one. Now the neck is called the Nature's Whisper. Simple quest chain. You can do it in Silithus. Not hard to get at all. Just remember, don't delete it. I know a few rogues that accidentally deleted this neck, so make sure you keep this chain. Now the shoulders, the best option is unfortunately world bus drops. So if your guild does the green dragon world buses in open world right now, you can get the unnatural leather spouters. So this gives you 25 nature resist, and then you get 5 from the Argent Dawn enchant that you can put on top of them. So those are the best case, but obviously a lot of people will never be able to see those world buses. So your other option and the more realistic option, which is what I'd recommend, is the Phytoskin Spouters. These drop from Maraudon. I'll show you how to solo the bosses for this in a second. So this is what I'd recommend. Now for your back, you have a huge amount of options. Again, the best option drops off the Green World Dragon bosses. So it's the Green Dragon Skin Cloak. Gives 20 nature resist, but most people will not be able to see this. Now I listed a ton of cloaks here because all of them are very good overall, and it just depends on how much nature resist you need to complete your kit here, right? If you're already high nature resist, maybe you try to get something like a Cloak of Shrouded Mist, or maybe you even have that already, which is a drop off Ragnaros, low nature resist, so you only get 6 there, but it has a high DPS, right? So basically, I put all these backs here so that you can mix and match based on how much resistance you can get. But what I'd recommend you start with is the one in the middle here called the Grove Keeper's Drape. Super easy to get. It's another Maraudon drop, so we'll show you how to get that in a second, and super easy to get, and 10 nature resist is pretty solid to start your kit off. Now for chest, I only put one piece here. It's the Bloodfang chest piece. Now there are other chests, so if you go to, again, you go to classicroguecraft, you click on the nature resist guide, link is in the description of the video. There's other chest options for you to get, but if you can get these, if you're a raiding rogue, you definitely want to be going for the Bloodfang chest. Amazing stats and 10 nature resist at the same time. Okay, so for your feet, you have 2 options. You have the Albino Crocskill boots, low nature resist, so there's only 5 on it, but good DPS stats. And then you have the Fang Drip runners. Now the Albino Crocskill boots you'll be able to pick up super easily. They're from Maraudon as well, so everyone will probably pick those up. And the Fang Drip runners, they're a little bit harder to get. They're from an instance drop from Stratholme Undead, but they have no DPS stats and they're just pure 20 nature resist pretty much. Now there's actually one more pair of boots that I didn't include in this photo, but that you might end up getting anyway just by accident because it drops in Maraudon as well, and it drops off one of the bosses that you'll be killing anyway. So those are like budget Fang Drip runners, but they're called Divine Rot Sandals, so they're not included in the photo, but they give 12 nature resist. So pretty solid as well. You probably pick them up while you're farming the rest of the Maraudon gear. Okay, for wrists, honestly, just not any really good drops here. You don't really have many options. You can get the Dragon Spur wraps, which have 4 nature resist if you're in a guild that kills the Dragon World bosses. If not, then you're kind of out of luck. You can try your luck with some open world drops. So some open world drops can just roll random nature resist stats on them, and you can find them in the auction house, but those are going to be super expensive and hard to find. And that goes for a lot of these other pieces as well. There are open world drops that you can get, which will just be random stats on them, and sometimes the random stats are nature resist, but they'll be very expensive in the auction house. So maybe I recommend every time you log in, check the auction house. Maybe you can snipe one for a good price, but a lot of them will be way overpriced and not worth the price. Okay, so for your hands, there's the Stonebark Gauntlets. Now these are actually kind of annoying to get. They're kind of a low drop rate, and they drop in Damal of the tree NPCs. You can buy these because they're not buying on pickup, they're buying on equip, but they are very overpriced on my server, and I'd assume they're probably overpriced on your server as well. But obviously if you can pick them up for cheap, go for it. Otherwise you'll need a friend or two to farm the trash in Damal to try to pick these up. The waist is the Chloromash Girdle. Super easy to get. This is a Maraudon drop. I'll show you how to get it in a second. Just flat 20 nature resist. Now for the legs, you want to go for the Cenarian Reservist leggings. So these leggings are actually from a quest chain in Silithus. You can solo everything up to the last big guy pretty much. For the last big guy for this quest, you will need your raid to help you. So what I'd recommend is you solo, get everything done, get all the prep work done for this quest, and then when you get up to the last big guy, he's basically a raid boss that you have to kill. You get your guild to go after an MC, after a ZG run, whatever it is, and the guild should be happy to help you kill this anyway, because this is prepping for AQ. There's pretty much no other option you want for legs, because these legs are amazing. They have DPS stats and they have amazing nature resist. So these are 100% the legs you want to go for. Okay, so for fingers and rings, you're going to be stuck probably buying auction house items, because there's the Malfurian's Signet Ring, which comes from a quest item which drops off the world dragon buses, but again, a lot of people will not be seeing these buses. If you can get it, this is great. Then you filled in one of your ring slots, but if not, you're going to have to buy 1 or 2 nature resist rings off the auction house. Now what you can do is you can just buy the cheaper nature resist rings. I know it's super overpriced right now. If you try to get a 20 nature resist ring, you're probably going to be shelling out hundreds and hundreds of gold right now. But you can get, let's say, the 15 nature resist rings for a fairly reasonable price, and it's a lot cheaper than going for a few more nature resist but paying 500 gold extra. And lastly, you have the Petrified Band. So this drops in Dalmau as well. You can farm this one as well. I don't know how many people will actually farm this, because it's honestly just going to be easier to buy 2 open world drop rings than try to farm this band. Now for trinkets, there's pretty much just one choice, the Heart of Noxxion. So this is not unique, so you can actually get 2 of them for both trinket slots. This drops in Maraudon. You can solo the boss for this. I'll show you how to do it in this video coming up next. Okay, now lastly for range, not really many options here, but there is a Greenwood Dragon boss drop, which is the Polished Ironwood Crossbow, has 7 nature resists. If you can get it, great. If not, just like the other world boss drops, don't worry about it. There's not much you can do there. Okay, so that's the list basically. You mix and match, get up to about 200, 250 nature resists should do you. If you're scared, try to get up to 250 nature resists and you should be okay. But again, this is going to differ based on your guild's kill times, etc. But based on private servers, roughly that 250 mark was what people were aiming for. Okay, so we're outside Maraudon here. I'm going to show you how to actually get to the instance entrance from the start of this underground area, because this seems to where everyone seems to get lost. And the difficulty of Maraudon here is more about not getting lost than it is about the actual bosses. I found the boss fight's actually pretty easy, but you just don't want to get lost. Okay, so just follow my path here. It's all shown here in this video, but really not very hard to do it. Now, where you want to go in Maraudon is you want to go to the orange entrance. You do not need the staff or the scepter to port into the other section of Maraudon. That's not required at all. Okay, so we're going to follow this path. You're going to go down here. We're going to drop down here. Keep going down. So it's still fairly straightforward. You can't really get lost at this point, right? Now, the way through Maraudon is there's 2 sections. It's called the orange section and the purple section. We're going to the orange section of Maraudon. Now this is marked by orange crystals. So you can see how there's purple crystals on one side and orange crystals on the other side. Just follow the orange crystals, okay? So we're going to follow down this path down the orange crystals. There's only one way, so you shouldn't get lost here. Just follow exactly where I'm going, down here, past these little salamander things. Now again, these are pretty low level. You shouldn't have to worry about this. I don't even really need to be stealthed here. Okay, so now we're gonna go past this guy. So what I did is I grabbed a quest here because I actually don't have the scepter. Right, so this quest from this lady gives you the scepter for Maraudon to port around. Again, you don't need it, but since we're going to Maraudon, you can pick it up anyway if you haven't done the scepter quest. And you just keep going after this. Okay, so from this lady, you basically just turn right, keep following this path down here. And it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to hop down here. Keep going past. So you see here where there's an up area and a down area. We want to be going down. So we're going to go down. We're going to go past these salamander things again. And you see the Maraudon entrance for the orange side right past here. So we're going to go right again. And right here is the entrance portal. All right. So just follow that path, don't get lost, and let's get started inside Maraudon. Okay, so we're going to run you through the entire path of Maraudon from start to finish. Now, the only consumable you do need for this is nature resist potions, which I'd recommend for anyone soloing Noxxion. He's the only tricky to solo boss here, so just bring a couple. You can pop one before the fight, 2 minutes later you can pop one during the fight. So just pre-pop one and then have a second one ready in case you need it. Makes the fight way easier. Now Maraudon is confusing if you've never been here, so just follow my path. So we go left here, then we go down, and it's basically just this winding path that just keeps going on and on. Now the Maraudon can be pretty confusing at first, but once you get used to the place, you realize it's pretty much just one long windy path basically. So here we're going to go left again. So when we get to these slimes, we're going to go through them. Now again with Maraudon, a lot of these mobs are gray, so I don't even need to be stealthing here, but I'm just stealthing because I didn't want to get caught and mess up the recording of the video. But again, these are low level mobs. You can just pretty much just run past them, or if you're worried, you can stealth. But pretty easy instance overall. Noxxion is the only tricky boss. So again, we're just going to keep following this windy path here. I pop sprint here just to get through it quicker. And once you get past these maggot things, you're going to go even further down. So the path is going to wind. You can see I'm curving down left. We're going to go further down. And we're going to get to Noxxion in a little bit. Now, the key to Noxxion is 1, save your evasion and blade flurry and cooldowns basically for after he splits into a whole bunch of different people. Alright, so again, we're going left, and here's the main chamber. So you can see here, once you get to this chamber with all of these larvae things, in that pool is Noxxion. And you can see him right there. Now again, I pre-popped a nature resist potion, so my cooldown is up to pop another nature resist potion if I need it. Look, I'm pretty geared. If you're less geared, you want to play it safer, and you definitely want to get 2 nature resist potions. Now, in some of these fights, I popped 2, some of them I didn't pop 2. It really depended on the RNG of the fight. But overall, he's the only hard fight in here for some rogues. Now, the way I do this is, again, pop the nature resist potion, wait 2 minutes, start the fight with him, and save your evasion and blade flurry for when he splits apart. Okay, so you can see here I'm going to open. Now he is immune to cheap shot, so I don't open with cheap shot, but we get our slice and dice up, we just attack as normal. You see I'm not popping any cooldowns here yet, so nothing's going on here. And then he splits, and then I pop my evasion and blade flurry and get these adds down ASAP. Now the quicker you can get him down, the better, because every so often he'll split into the add things again. So if he splits into the add things twice, it can be annoying. But you can see here, once your nature resist potion falls off, that's when he can kind of start hitting hard. Right? So here, I have my second nature resist pot. I don't pop it until I think towards the end of this. Yeah, I was getting a little bit worried because my health was getting a bit low. Then I pop it. Okay? But again, if you're not as geared as me in this fight, you just pop your second nature resist pot as soon as you need it, because there's no point in being stingy. These nature resist pots are something like less than a gold each, so you must as well pop them if you're worried about them. I'm fairly geared, I'm well raid geared, and I had the Ahn'Qiraj buff, so that made it easier. But there were some fights where the RNG was in my favor, and I only had to pop 1 pot and still stayed above half HP the entire fight. But yeah, that's the Noxxion fight. So pretty straightforward. I have heard of some rogues who are less geared using pet trinkets to help tank some of the damage on the ads. So that's another alternative you can use, and then they use bandages and things during the ads phase. I didn't do that because I'm better geared, but if you're not, then you definitely want to bring 2 nature resist pots, pop them liberally just so they can get this fight over with. Okay, so continuing on, we're going to continue down this winding path. Now, every other boss in here that you're going to need to kill, super easy, nothing like Noxxion. You can pretty much just face tank them with evasion, blade flurry, and adrenaline rush. Again, I'm just farming this in my normal raid spec. I didn't change anything at all, so the actual fight is super easy. Alright, so going down this path, we took a right, and we're just going to follow this path down to the next boss. So the next boss is a flower type looking guy, and you pretty much just face tank him, like pretty much all the bosses from now on. As long as you get past Noxxion, everything else is cakewalk here. So we're going to go down this little cubby here and past these two plants in this little cubby. So we're going to get past all these plants. Okay, see on the right here, in this cubby is our next boss. Okay, so now we're going to get on this boss here. Again, what you're going to find in these fights is you're spending more time waiting for your cooldowns than anything else really. So we're going to skip ahead here because I'm just waiting for my Adrenaline Rush and other cooldowns to be up again before we start the fight. Okay, so now my cooldowns are up. We're going to go for it. So again, just open. He's immune to cheap shot. I did test it out, you can see there. But no big deal again. Just open, get your slice and dice up, pop your cooldowns, evasion, and you're pretty much good. There's really no real strategy you need for the rest of these bosses. Noxxion's the only boss that takes any effort at all, really. You can see there's not even any danger of me dying here. It's just not even a challenge for these bosses. Okay, so now we continue on. We take a left here. We go down. Keep following this windy path here. And here we're going to drop down, right? So we drop down here. And then we're going to follow this path all the way around to the next boss. Okay, so now we're just going to follow this river path. You just follow him all the way on to the next boss. Again, you don't need to be stealth here. I'm just stealth because I didn't want to get annoying as well as recording the video. But you can pretty much just run past all of this stuff. All of this stuff is just gray trash. So you basically follow this path just the whole way down. So you can see here I got out of stealth. Was a bit annoying running in stealth the whole time. But yeah, so we follow this down all the way and you see this boss up here. So every time you kill one of the ads next to him, he's going to spawn a ad again. So you can't perma kill these ads. But it doesn't really matter. This guy's cakewalk. It's not hard at all. You just pop evasion, blade flurry, adrenaline rush, press all your buttons and he dies. Again, no trouble at all. So let's skip ahead to the boss fight because I'm waiting for cooldowns again. Okay, so we're gonna walk up here. Just gonna open him like normal, press all cooldowns and he's gonna fall over dead. So again, Maraudon, super easy. The only boss you have to prepare for is Noxxion. Bring nature resist pots and save your evasion and blade flurry for when he splits apart, and you should be pretty good to go. If you're really worried, you can just bring another rogue, duo this, and it makes it easier. But if you're a decently geared rogue with nature resist pots, you should be able to solo Noxxion just fine. So you can see here, any ads I kill, they just respawn, but it doesn't really matter because this boss isn't really hard at all. So we kill him. Now this NPC that spawns here is for the scepter quest. So again, if you don't have your scepter done, you can actually do it while you're here. I'm not really going to cover into that, but there's one more boss you have to kill for that. He's also just a pushover as well. So if you want to go kill him, you can. You don't have to. You don't need a scepter at all for any of this farming. So I'm not going to cover it here. Okay, so we're going to keep going down now. We're going to go down here. And again, Maraudon. It's confusing at first, but it's actually pretty straightforward. It's just one path down as long as you keep following it. Everywhere else is just a dead end. So we're going to go down now, past these little turtles. And we're going to drop down off the waterfall into the water here. Now this area we're entering is called the purple side of Maraudon. So if we had gone to the purple entrance, this is where we have started basically. But again, we have to kill the mobs in the orange side, so we don't start in the purple side. There's no advantage to using the scepter in this case. So here we're in the purple side. So now we're just going to keep going past. We're going to make our way towards the Rotgrip spawn. So he is a crocodile in the instance. And he's actually another just tank and spank fight. Not really hard at all. And we're just going to keep walking. So we're going to go to the end of this cave system. And then we're going to take a left. So you can see here these flowers. There's an entrance here. Just walk past all of this. If you're worried again, you can stealth. These mobs are pretty low level though. So again, you can get away without stealthing for most of these. But if you're worried, just stealth. Now we're going to walk past all of this. It's another windy path. And we're making our way down to the drop off where we can hop down into the water to kill Rotgrip. So he's going to drop the albino boots for us. Again, those are boots that you might not end up using because they only have 5 nature resist, but you must as well pick them up while you're down here farming anyway. So we're going to go up. So follow this path all the way up. So you can see it splits off here, but I like going up. So we're going to go past this bridge here. Then we're going to go left. So instead of continuing to go up, we're going to go left here. And it's going to take us past the salamanders. And we're basically going to be above where Rotgrip spawns. So Rotgrip is a crocodile. He just patrols the area of the water underneath us right now. So here you can see we're back above a bunch of water. And we're pretty much just going to drop down from here. So from up here, we can see all the water under us. Rotgrip patrols all that water below us. So we're pretty much just going to drop down. Now, if depending on where he is in his pathing cycle, he could be anywhere down there. He does a whole big circle down in this water. So you can see I'm just trying to find him. He's not on this side, so that means he's probably on the other side of the water somewhere. So we're going to fast forward a little bit now, just so you guys don't have to see me wait for him to path back to me. Okay, so there we found Rotgrip. He's coming back to us. I'm going to wait for him to path over, and he's super easy to kill, much like everything in Maraudon. So again, the difficulty on Maraudon is really just not getting lost and Noxxion. As long as you can get past Noxxion, everything else is easy peasy. So we're going to wait here. He's going to pathing. And we're just going to open like normal. So again, nothing special here. He's just like every other boss in here. Doesn't really do much to you. So he is immune to cheap shot. So again, I did check it. But yeah, just pop your slice and dice. Pop all your cooldowns, evasion, adrenaline rush, blade flurry. He's going to fall over. And you're going to get your boots, hopefully. And that's basically the Maraudon farm, guys. Now, one more thing I wanted to cover, so as we're just killing this guy, is how to reset the instance. Because you're probably going to have to reset the instance a bunch of times. It's a lot easier if you set it up beforehand. So after we kill this guy, okay, we'll loot. Hey, look, we got it. Okay, sweet. Now we're going to reset the instance. Okay, so I just cut to where I'm showing you how to reset instance basically. So anywhere, anytime you're on Maraudon and you want to reset it, you just log out. So you see I'm camping here, and you can see in the corner here, I'm actually grouped with my alt. So before you start this, you basically want to group yourself with your alt. You can ask a guildie to basically invite you, log out, then you log on to your alt, get your guildie to invite your alt then. So then you form a group with your alt. Then your guildie can leave and just leave the 2 of you in a group. So what you do is you hop onto your alt, and after 2 minutes, so you have to wait 2 minutes for this timer to count down. After 2 minutes, the lead for the group will pass to your alt. And then you can reset the instance basically. So we're going to skip ahead 2 minutes here. And you see I'll get the option to reset all instances. Okay, so reset all instances. You see it right there. Click that. Click yes. And we're pretty much set. So it's going to reset Maraudon. We're going to log back on our main now, who's still logged out in Maraudon. And it's going to send us all the way back to the entrance of Orange Side. You see it here. I'm back in Orange Side again. And that's pretty much how you do it. And you just keep resetting and redoing this over and over. Now there is a max of 5 instances per hour. So you can only do it 5 times. But for me, by the time I got to the 5th one, I already was either past an hour or I had all the gear I need. So this is pretty much the Maraudon farm. Super easy, not hard at all. And all you need to remember is bring nature resist pots for Noxxion or bring a friend. Either way, if you want to solo it, just bring the pots and you should be good to go. Alright, so I hope this helps you guys who are a little bit scared of soloing the Maraudon gear for yourself. But as you can see, there's a ton of nature resist gear in Maraudon that's super easy to get. And I would start with this for your nature resist set and build from there. Well, if you're still here, this is a great time to tell you about our sponsor. Our sponsor is you, twitch.tv/snowme. You can help support Classic RogueCraft and all the free guides and content that I create by going to twitch.tv/snowme, clicking that sub button. You can click it even when I'm offline, and it helps support everything that I do here. And you get yourself some free extra videos. So once a week, I do give extra video guides. So our Discord has an extra channel just for Twitch subs where I throw in extra video guide every week. So help support Classic RogueCraft, hit that sub button, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and one last thing, I did add EU stream times now to my streaming schedule. So you EU guys that were missing out on my NA time zone streams, you guys get streams now too. So there's 3 streams a week, 3 for EU people, 3 for NA people. Check my Twitch page for the full schedule, but I stream 3 times a week for both EU and NA. So again, take care. I hope this helped you out, and I'll see you in the next video.